Hey y'all, it's July the 17th, 2017. I'd like to shout out to everybody out there, investigative reporting as far as in regards to Caitlin Nicole Davis. Alright, shout out to y'all, man. God bless y'all, and I wish you the best. Here's the thing, I wanted to make a video real quick to kind of lend a little bit more perspective on this particular situation. I want to do so because I was doing a little bit of research, came across another story. I came across another story that's actually quite old. It's over 5 years old, about a little girl, and this might sound familiar to you, a 10-year-old girl. Alright, very young, in fact younger than Caitlin. 10-year-old girl who hung herself, right, with a belt, which as you already know, that's hard to do. Alright, it's pretty hard to do, and so we're gonna see if we can't figure out the situation, this particular situation, see if we can't reverse engineer this situation. First of all, this young girl right here, her name was Jasmine. Alright, and here, check some of the news clips regarding this situation real quick.
She lived in this house with her mom and grandma, who use words like sweet and fun-loving to describe her.
I mean, she was just a loving child. I mean, I just don't understand.
So hard to understand how this picture of innocence could want to end it all. Her mother, Samantha West, found her Monday night in her bedroom. Jasmine McLean had hanged herself with a belt.
I just lost it. Because actually she took her last breath in my arms. When I got her down, she said, ah, and that was it.
There's no doubt that there was suicide.
Chadburn Police Chief Stephen Shaw was about to leave it at that, until he started reading the things on Facebook and social media.
Alright, you seen that, right? See, here's the thing that I want you to notice. First of all, I hope you already noticed that Jasmine lives in a house, kind of a run-down house, if you will. Lives in a house with who? Her mother and her grandmother. Alright, ain't no men there. I don't know if that sounds familiar. There's no men there. It was her mother and her grandmother. Alright, you might have also noticed, if you're anything like me, that her mother's fatally obese. Alright,
I mean, she was just a loving child. I mean, I just don't understand.
Just slobbingly, to be honest with you. And you know what, we don't want to get off course too much, but that is fair to note. Here's some things I'm going to tell you about her mother that I shouldn't know, but I do know. Alright, of course that daddy ain't around, number one. Number two, this lady is absolutely on welfare. She's what you would call a welfare queen. Alright, gives not a damn about her health. Alright, among other things, she lives with the mother, not the grandfather, mind you. I don't know where the grandfather is. God bless you, he could be dead. I don't know, but he's not there. Alright, you have a situation with this lady, alright, having babies out of wedlock. She had this beautiful young baby by the name of Jasmine. Here's what I want to tell you, what I already know without having to do the research, because I've seen it before. Right, this young girl by the name of Jasmine, she's what you would call a mixed girl. Alright, and understand that that actually does play a factor in this, because what I need for you to know is, in this particular situation, it's not so much like Caitlin. This young girl, she went to a school where there's a lot of people with dark skin. Alright, and just to be real about it, these people with dark skin, very young children her age, well, sometimes they don't take very kindly to the mixed girls. If if you've never heard of this before, because their hair is nicer, because their skin is lighter for some reason, these darker girls, they're not going to like it, alright? And they will pick on... I shouldn't even know this, but I can guarantee you that this is what happened. Alright, at school, Jasmine got hit with all sort of bullying, and I can tell you and guarantee you right now that was exactly the case. It was because she was a mixed little girl.
Children have started coming forward and making accusations that she was bullied and that she was bullied and bullied bad in school.
This is where she went to school, Chadburn Elementary, where the flag flies at half-staff. Jasmine's mom says, yes, kids picked on her, but she never imagined her little girl was that tormented. Mom told me kids would tease Jasmine about her shoes or her clothes. She left the school for a time, but returned about a month ago and dreaded it.
Alright, that's why she got the bullying, but the thing is, she would have been able to get past the bullying. First of all, she should have been taken out of that environment altogether. You notice how she wasn't. You notice that they knew that there was a problem, and yet still they put her back into the problem. Alright, okay, so even if she was in the problem, you also notice she doesn't have nowhere to run to for security. She doesn't have no kind of father figure around at all. She has nowhere to run. She is forced to go back to this school and get bullied again and again. And her mother somehow in all of this becomes the victim. Does that sound familiar to you?
It's a shame the kids are that cruel. It really is.
Mother, this welfare queen, right, living with her mother, she becomes some sort of victim in this, and she has things to say like, oh, you know, I can't believe this went on in the school, and somebody should have done this.
It's a shame the kids are that cruel. It really is.
You know what? You should have done something. You didn't. You belong in jail or worse. Right? I know all these details without even having to investigate. You want to know why? Because there's a pattern here going on. That's why. I've seen this movie again and again and again and again. I know the patterns, right? I understand that there's similarities in all these cases. In all these cases. Right? And it might give you a little bit of perspective just to know that this not only has happened before, but it's happened in worse ways. Right? And it happens a lot more than you would think. And so at the end of the day, to me, it's paramount to understand that yes, there is an underlying message here. What is it? You know what I'm saying? And for all the reporters and investigators, investigative reporters out there, you might have a theory as to what the message is here. At the end of the day, this young girl had nowhere to run. Alright. Meanwhile, here's another thing I can guarantee you, alright? You can call me a genius and a psychic if you want to, alright? This young girl, if you were to dig into her history, you understand that she was bullied quite hard. She was then put back into the very same environment. This young girl, I can guarantee you, was prescribed prescription pills to pop. Promise you. Alright, and so if you're wondering why, you're still wondering how it is she's able to hang herself with a belt, which honestly is a very hard thing to do, you can go ahead and stop wondering. There is an underlying message to all of these cases. There's a lot of cases like it out there. They follow a pattern.
Everyone that we have spoken to, there are little indicators, small, not huge indicators, small indicators that she was not happy.
And her death is now a police investigation. Well, could anybody be criminally liable for her death?
It's a shame the kids are that cruel. It really is.
It's July the 17th, 2017, and holler at me, I'll holler at y'all.
I can't answer that question right now.
Answers are hard to come by. When you look at that picture, 10 years old. Brian Mims, WRAL News, Columbus County.